One morning, Henry woke with a start to his driver standing outside of the shed. "Wake up, Henry. It's time to pull the first train." "Pooh," scoffed Henry. "It's too early for this." "I'm sorry, Henry, but there's nothing we can do. It is the Fat Controller's orders." "Alright, just stop nagging me. Let me wake up first," grumbled Henry. If Henry hadn't been so busy grumbling, he may have noticed the three troublesome trio watching him as he left the sheds in a huff. Meanwhile, Gordon was at Netford, waiting to leave with the express. He was still thinking about what he should do with Henry. He was still hurt about what Henry did, but he did his best not to show it. Then Henry backed down onto the local. Henry tried to be casual and cheerful. He blew his whistle as a friendly greeting. He was surprised when Gordon actually whistled back. "I guess he's not mad at me. I guess he does believe me after all. I guess we are still friends." However, Henry soon realized that Gordon had only whistled to let his guard know that he was ready to leave. With a loud whistle, a pompous look, and lots of express coaches, Gordon left the station without even looking in Henry's direction. Henry felt powerless as he watched the express leave the station. Henry gave a sad toot of his whistle and then sadly puffed away with his own train. Gordon was still deeply hurt by what he thought Henry did, but he did his best as he could to get on with his everyday activities. And despite Gordon's negative opinion on Henry, it didn't change the way he treated the other engines. He was still respectful towards Edward and Winston, and was still very annoyed with, but still treated Thomas with respect. And he still kept his distance around 98462, 87546, and 76624. He did not trust them and found them rude and obnoxious. Later, Gordon was boasting to Edward about how fast he was going with the express. Edward was holding on to his sanity for dear life when Henry arrived. "Hello, Edward," he said in his normal, friendly voice. "How are you?" "I'm fine," said Edward uncomfortably. He was well aware of the feud between Henry and Gordon. "Hello, Gordon," Henry added. "How are you doing this fine day?" Gordon looked over at Edward, looking uncomfortable. He didn't even acknowledge that Henry was there. "I will talk to you later, Edward," he said. "Yes, of course," said Edward. "Are you all right, Henry?" asked Edward. "No, Edward," answered Henry sadly. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. Ever since 98462 and 87546 told those lies about me, things have been different between me and Gordon. He hates me now. No, he doesn't hate you, answered Edward. Oh, really? So, you're so old that you're blind already? I'm sorry, Edward. Henry quickly apologized. It's just pretty clear to me that Gordon hates me. Look, Henry, what Gordon needs is some time to breathe. Give him some space to figure things out on his own. And if he's a true friend, he'll come around and realize what those spiteful engines said about you is not the truth. Now, I'd better go, Henry. I've got a train to pull. See you later. He had hoped he had talked some sense into Henry. But Henry was not going to let Gordon go that easily. He knew what he must do. He was going to do everything he could to try and be Gordon's friend, and to tell him that what the spiteful engines had said about him was not the full truth. So, any time that Gordon was alone or resting in his siding, Henry was sure to show up and try to start a conversation with him, much to Gordon's dismay. Gordon would frequently try and run away from Henry, hoping that he would soon get the message that he wanted to be alone, aka away from Henry. Unfortunately, 98462, 87546, and 76624 were seeing all this and came up with a plan to teach Henry a lesson for bothering Gordon. Next morning, Henry awoke to a strange man standing outside of his shed. Wake up, Henry, and come with me. A special train is coming, and you're to pull it. I haven't been informed of any special train, Henry said suspiciously. Please just go away. I don't want to leave my nice warm shed. I'm sorry, Henry, but it's the Fat Controller's orders. Please, just come with me. All right, don't fuss. I'm coming, grumbled Henry. Henry's driver opened the regulator, and Henry puffed sulkily out of his nice warm shed. Meanwhile, Gordon was at Knapford, waiting to leave with the express. He was thinking about what he should do with Henry, when suddenly he heard his whistle. Then, to his horror, he noticed a freight train right on Henry's line. He frantically blasted his whistle. But Henry was too conceited to know that Gordon was whistling and warning. Gordon's whistling because I'm such a fine engine. Let me whistle back! Then he noticed the freight train in his path. Oh no! Henry, stop, driver! Henry's driver and fireman and the guard All jumped out before the crash, but Henry lay, both his funnel and front badly bent. Henry's front was damaged from the crash, but his funnel was bent from the flying debris from the trucks. It took a long time to clear the mess and get Henry back onto the rails, but at last Winston came to take Henry to the works. As Henry was taken away to the works, something did not sit right in Gordon. He suspected foul play, and at that moment he saw 98462 scamper by with a freight train. Gordon did not know what to think, but he did know two things. 1. Watch his back, and 2. Watch out for the troublesome trio for whenever they strike next.